Here we are, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is June. What is today? June 17th. We're so excited to have you join us for our Wealth Creator Workshop. Whether you are new to our community and you're just getting to know us for the first time, or you've been around for a while, we welcome you. We know that the things that you're going to hear are going to enrich your life. I'm Lisa Williams, and I want to just introduce my fabulous colleagues, business partners, some incredible speakers. First of all, we have our success coach team, Ms. Dawn and Donis, and we have our speakers. Some of our speakers for this week, my dear friends, Miss Lorna, Sherland, Lori, and Jen Panlilio. You are going to hear some incredible stories this week of inspiration and motivation from entrepreneurs and business savvy women that are taking charge of their finances. Anyone here to perhaps raise their financial IQ this week? Anyone have a goal to raise their financial IQ? Okay, I want you to put in the chat a 1 if you are here to serve. If you are here to serve others, let's put a 1 in the chat. Maybe anyone have a desire to maybe add an income stream to their life, add some cash flow, increase that cash flow. I want you to put a 2 in the chat if you would like to help others increase their cash flow, because guess what? We can increase our own cash flow, but isn't it amazing? Isn't there something magical? Oh, there goes my phone. Need to make sure it's not one of my kids' limbs falling off or something like that. Isn't it magical, my friends, when we can actually make an impact on someone else's life that enables them to create impact in their own lives? You're going to get to know my tribe here, and you're going to get to know me. You're also going to get to know who your higher power is more deeply. We are definitely a spirit-filled community here. I tend to look at life through the lens of Jesus. Whatever lens of life you look through, friends, I just invite you to know that you're in the right place. I know that when people plug in to their higher power, it's like, I heard an analogy once. If you were going to clean your house, would you plug in your vacuum cleaner, right? I think of our higher power as we get to plug in. And if you have a higher power in your life, I will promise you one thing: you have a little edge over other people. You just do. I'm just telling you. I want to invite you to consider something, that if this does not resonate with you, if there is not a higher power right now in your life, I want to invite you to leverage my belief in you. Leverage is a word that we're going to be using a lot this week. It's my very favorite word. It is the word of the year for me, and we're going to learn a lot about how we can leverage the skills. We're going to leverage the abilities. We're going to leverage the platform of others to enrich our own lives and help others in a more powerful way. So I wanted to make sure we invite Lori. You're going to be joining us on Wednesday, I think. Lori is a crypto coach. Anyone curious, a little crypto curious? Friends, definitely want to make sure you plan on joining us. Thanks, Lori, for hopping on this morning. I know you have a busy schedule. And Jen, we will see you in a minute. So friends, I want to just, first of all, I want to tell you something that you may not have heard before. If this is a new idea to you, I want to share a secret about my life that I believe has helped me do just a little bit better, maybe in the world of business and finance. That is the belief that you, my friends, are God's masterpiece. I believe that from the core of my being. My very favorite book is this little book right here. It's a pretty big one. Whether you look at the Bible through the lens that it's a great book of history, or it's literally a roadmap to success in your lives, however you look at the book, I want to invite you to one of my favorite scriptures, which says, "You are a masterpiece." And the theme of this community really is helping others step into that masterpiece. Are you living your kingdom calling, my friends? Are you doing exactly what you were intended to do? I find that a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to really step into that. Maybe anyone here on the call, did you accidentally land in a career, perhaps? Maybe went to school, maybe you were like me. You had a beautiful set of parents that encourage you to get good grades, go to school, get a good job. Life is going to work out. Jen says, yes, absolutely. I mean, let's face it, friends, that is how the industrial era has created a bunch of employees. Did you know before 1933, most people were entrepreneurs in America? Isn't that interesting? So you're going to learn today, this whole week, about the spirit of entrepreneurship, especially when you create a kingdom lens around your role of business owner. We're going to show you ways that you can leverage an incredible platform that I am very, very blessed to be part of this startup organization that I have seen thousands of business owners use this tool to bring it into their own business practice and have built an income stream, truly built an income stream. They're giving stock certificates. You're going to learn a little bit about that. You're going to be invited to become part of that movement, which, by the way, is free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no strings attached. But quite frankly, it costs you your most valuable time, I think, which is your precious time. Our precious time, we are not promised an infinite amount of time on this planet, right? We are promised something very powerful, which is a good life. It doesn't mean it's an easy life, but we are promised a good life. And we have a mighty mission. We have incredible, people that we've locked arms with. It's one of the gifts that God blessed me with in my life, is a genuine interest in people, a genuine interest in their stories. My new friend Carol, she uses the phrase holding space for others. I just love that, Carol. And women do better when we lock arms together. My mom, you're going to get to know my mom a little. And I want to actually, let's start with you getting to meet my mom. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. And I want you to, I'm going to take you to a room that I walked in my corporate America days. I was a headhunter for 30 years in corporate America in financial services. I literally found people jobs for a living. And I worked in one of those. Anyone ever work in a big bullpen where there's like cubicles, there's a sea of cubicles, and everyone's like on the phone dialing for dollars, right? I know Lorna knows what I'm talking about. She's a real estate broker. And I would always walk into this room. First of all, I think everyone gets to be my friend. That's just how I was raised. I can't wait to force you to be my friend for life. I think women can never have enough friends, especially. And so I would walk into that room like everyone was my friend. And there was this really grumpy lady. Her name was Kelly. And she'd been there for like 10 years. Does anyone have any grumpy Kellys in their past where every time you walk in, they're like just down in the dumps, right? And she asked me, she said, Lisa Fleming, at the time I was Fleming, my practice husband, Lisa Fleming, why are you always so damn happy when you walk in? And I did not even give it a second thought. I literally just said, well, I love Jesus and he loves me. I didn't, it just was the first thing that came into my mind, And it's so interesting when I look back now on that time, literally, just even then, God was planting this dream in my heart of women lifting women, of women locking arms in a united movement, a wealthier, healthier future for American families. And anyone have a passion for our next generation? Anyone get lit up when they think about their kiddos, their grandchildren, their nieces, their nephews? Do we know, ladies, they are not teaching our children a lick about anything in school when it comes to money? Does that resonate with anyone? How about entrepreneurship? Are they teaching our kids anything? Jen and I, how many conversations have we had about this, Jen? Imagine a future where our children, first of all, not because they are doing what we say, but they're watching what we're doing, right? They're watching what we're doing. I want to introduce you to someone. This is my mom, Sue. Okay. My mom, Sue, she was one of those women that she knew when she was 9 years old that she wanted to be a nurse. She read Nurse Nancy. I don't know if any nurses or health industry professionals, apparently that's a really popular book in the health industry. My mom read Nurse Nancy, and she decided at 9 years old that she wanted to be a nurse. She served that population until the day she died. She was in the school district. She became a parish nurse. Master after she retired. She started the parish nursing community in Anchorage, Alaska, where I'm from. And I will tell you, my mom was an entrepreneur and didn't even know it because everywhere she went, she was everybody's friend. At her funeral, can I tell you how many people got up and spoke, or people that came up to me after and said, "Your mom was my best friend." She told my daughter once, my daughter Sierra asked her, "Grammy, who's your best friend?" And she said, "Well, my two best girlfriends in this house are you and Mama. Jesus is my best friend, but baby girl, you can never have enough best friends. You get to have lots of friends." Right? So I want you to just think about, who is in your circle of influence right now? Do you have one friend? Do you have a couple friends? It's okay if the answer is, I don't even hardly have any friends. That's okay too, because guess what? That is a learned skill set. Did you know that? Did you know you can learn to be a friend? You can learn to have friends, and it starts by being a good friend. That's what it starts with. These ladies that are locking arms with me, every one of you, you're here because a good friend invited you to something they thought would benefit your life. And you get to leverage the skills and abilities of our system, right? My ability to create really powerful relationships with women that know lots of people. We have some incredible powerhouse speakers on this week for you that are going to be bringing so much wisdom and spiritual gifts and savvy business knowledge. So you get to leverage the skills of them to master your own world in business and finance. Now, I'm going to give you one tip, really our first cash flow tip, okay? So, by the way, if you are here and you want to make a buddy, I want you to put your name in the chat. I want you to put in the chat your whatever is the best way to reach out to you. A phone number? Do you have a opt-in page? Do you have a LinkedIn profile? The goal of this workshop, friends, by the way, is to also make some friends. And I believe women should do business together. I always tell people, there should have been a Lisa's list before there was an Angie's list, because I literally have a list for something that everyone would ever need, and I'm constantly adding to my list. I just experienced 2 years of being a cheer parent. Did you know that is a real intense experience? Anyone else cheer parents? I have a list now in my Rolodex. Who knew I needed one of parents that just really are great cheer parents, because it is an extremely intense experience to be a cheer parent. Those of you that have kids in some sort of intense sport or did at one point, you know what I'm talking about. You can put football parent, you could put soccer parent, lacrosse parent, whatever it is. There is a list in my head and in my phone of someone that I need for everything. So if you're interested in making a friend, if you want to expand your business, whatever it looks like for you, whatever that business is, and you want to lock arms with like-minded women, then I invite you to do that and make a friend. Reach out to someone new this week. Get to know someone new. Okay. I want to invite you to share the good news of this workshop with a friend. I want to challenge you to bring a buddy tomorrow. Hey, there's this girl, Lisa, she's talking about the kingdom and finances and how women are better together. And guess what? I think we would have fun together. Is my friend Stella on? Is Grace on? Stella, hello, my dear. My friend Stella, did Grace make it today? She invited her sister Grace. I will tell you, every single one of you are here because you were already my friend, or you were invited by a friend, or I got to meet you through a friend. And so, friends, if there's others that you care about, invite them to come and join us. Donis, if you could put the link in the challenge for the challenge in the chat so people can send it to friends, and make sure when you invite them, make sure you say who invited you. Okay, it's kind of like when you get a discount coupon and you want to know who invited you so they can get credit for it, right? Make sure and do that. We're going to have a lot of fun this week, friends. We're going to be learning 5 ways to increase your own cash flow. We're going to teach you a little bit of taste and see about our online business platform with our incredible Better Startup. You're going to be learning about the Better Startup platform, which was actually founded by one of my mentors in business. His name is Jeff Levitan. And I will tell you, there's 2 things that change our lives the most. The first one we've already talked about, the books that we read. The books that you read, my friends, did you know that if you read 1 book a year, you're actually 90% ahead of the rest of the world? Isn't that crazy? 1 book a year. Isn't it interesting how we sometimes you think about the word graduation. You leave a university or a high school and you have this certificate of completion as though our learning has been completed. I believe we are changed most by the books that we read and also by the people that we meet. And I will tell you, 6 years ago, I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. I had no business. I was not planning to have a business. All I knew was that I was uncomfortable. Has anyone ever been in an uncomfortable place in their life? Maybe thinking, is there more that I'm supposed to be doing? Is there more that I can be serving? Are there things that I could be learning? I remember walking into a cubicle, and I was asked to come into this large, again, that big bullpen I was working in, that manager, that 18th manager in 23 years. I had 18 managers in 23 years. Has anyone ever had a new boss? You know what it's like when you have a new boss? Can you imagine having 18 in 23 years? So this 18th manager, he called me in to a cubicle, and this man did not know me. He knew nothing about me. Had no idea who I was. And he started asking me some questions about my business, and specifically one client in particular that had been my client for 22 years of those 23 years. And he let me know that he had a young woman that was coming in and that she was going to be partnering with me on this account now. And I was going to get to train her, and I was going to get to share, how to do this business. And I was also going to have, 50% of my commission that I normally was on going to be getting, I was going to be passing that baton to her. And so you see the smile on my face right now. Do you think I was smiling when I was given this news, by the way? But yet, you know why I'm smiling? Because it was literally the kick in the pants that I needed to exit that corporate environment. Has anyone ever stayed in a job longer than they should have? Perhaps. That resonates with Liz. Okay, I'm seeing some heads nod. And I'm telling you, friends, one of the things that I love about leverage is that when life gives you difficult times, how can you leverage that difficult time? Because guess what? God finally gave me a pretty swift kick in the pants that maybe this environment was no longer serving me in the best way that I could. Maybe there was another group of people that I was meant to give an impact to be part of their lives. You know, you stay in the box that you know, there's a limit, right, to how much you can grow. And I will tell you, when I first stepped into my first workshop like this, it was actually in a room. Jen remembers this. You know, she might have even been in that same room. It was a room and they pull you in and everybody's like super happy and weird. And you're just like, who are these people? Why are they talking about, why do they want to get to know me? Like, why do they want to know what lights me up in life? What do you mean? What's my dreams? Like, I never had any manager in my life ask me that question. What's your dream, Lisa? Why do you do what you do? What lights you up? And imagine my disbelief when I realized there were people thinking differently in this world. Every one of you, my friends, you've had a similar story like that. There's a reason that you're in a room like this. You're on somebody's mailing list that you opted in because you were having also a similar experience in your life where you were seeking more. So I invite you to continue this journey with us. My partner Lorna, she's going to be talking a little bit later today about procrastination. And I want to invite you to not procrastinate this week. I want to invite you to stay the course. If you can't make it live every day, I know that's not always easy. And I want to invite you to watch the recording because we're going to be building on this on our workshop day after day. And I want to invite you to also continue this journey with us. I'm going to invite you right now. By the way, I'm going to tell you up front, I'm not making you an offer at the end of this workshop. There's no big coaching package that I have to sell you. I am inviting you to hire yourselves and embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship with us. Be part of this movement to create a wealthier, healthier future with the ultimate goal, by the way, I forgot to mention, is my friend Nell here? Is Neldria on the call?
Yes.
Nell, can you put your, okay, there's Nell. So one of the things that light me up the most, my friends, when I first started my business, is anyone have a desire to be a more generous giver? Does that resonate with anyone? Um, I personally, this is what lights me up. This is what gets me so excited. One of the beautiful communities that I was part of for a period of time in my life, it's called the Wealth Builders. One of the best parts of the events that we would do is the Giving Day. And we would Jen's nodding her. Jen knows it tears me up every time. We would have these 3-day events and we would pick a charity for that event that we sponsored. And for half an hour, you know, we would hear from the charity, and you should have seen it. This room of people just giving, you know, walking up to, you know, the stage with a big wagon and just dropping dollars in, you know, going on a QR code, donating. There is something so powerful when it comes to giving. And many of us give very generously already. What I find is that a lot of people give generously of their time, but they don't necessarily have the resources and the funds to give of their money, right? It's one of the reasons that we believe so strongly in helping others generate more in their own lives so they can be generous monetarily as well. Because guess what? If we put more money in the hands of good people that are doing good things, something magical happens, something really magical. So I want to invite you to our charity this month that we're going to be sponsoring, it was started by my friend Nell. Nell is a client of mine that I met through our Kingdom Life group that I'm part of. And now I don't know if you have the ability to turn your camera on. I would love to pin you if you do. If you
Okay.
don't, tell me, no
Can you
worries.
see me? Okay.
Oh, let me see
Yeah.
and find you. Okay, let me find you. I'm going to pin you. So Nell and I we met through this beautiful community called 100X, which is a group of kingdom-driven entrepreneurs. And Nell is a client of mine. She's implementing the Kingdom Wealth Formula, which you're going to learn about this week. And she just started talking to me about this incredible movement that she created. The theme of the event, I'm going to share the flyer that you shared with me. It's called Levolution, and it's 24 hours of continuous worship. It's taking place in Buffalo on July 12th from 4 p.m. to July 13th, 4 p.m. And Donna, so I'm going to have you put the link in the chat, friends. I want to invite you to donate to this incredible cause. Now, I would like to just take a few minutes and ask you give us a thumbnail sketch first about the movement. We're not going to take a whole bunch of time. We get like our 2 minute version, okay? Give
Yes.
us a little bit about it first of all.
Okay. Evolution is something that came about because we believe that the Lord has something that He wants to do in love. And we believe that the revolution is going to be moved through love. So we were positioned in a place where the Lord told us to, where there is no love, where it's really dark, to bring light. So, so we positioned ourselves there, but it is about the city. And so we just believe that 24 hours of prayer and worship will cause heaven to invade earth on that day. And that's what it's about. It really is about the revolution. Revolution is the revolution of love, because it's going to take love to change a community.
I love this. And now, how long have you been doing this? This is an annual event you do.
Correct. This will be our third year. We have been in this particular location since August 21st of 3 years ago. So 2021. We've been there. So, and this will be the
And
third
what
one.
And you are also there, you are also out giving every Friday of every single
Correct.
week, as I understand.
Correct.
Giving
Correct.
of food, giving of blankets, giving of prayer.
Yes.
Tell us when you think about, is there, do you have any idea how many you have impacted at this point? Is there a number that you've seen or?
We've there have been many, because our message to them is, you are not forgotten and the Father loves you. So we've had
Yeah,
many to come to us to say, I want what you have. And we tell them, because it's really people, places, and things is drug infested. So I tell them, when you leave, I know you'll be okay. Just send me a message, but don't come back down here. So I would say over the 3 years, it's probably been more than 50 who have came back to us and let us know. There's
I
been
love it.
many there's been many who had a very bad experience with church, or who they
Mhm.
thought God was, and through consistency they've been able to see that it's a God of love and not legalism and not rules. And so that's the greatest impact, is that they see a Jesus who cares.
Yes. Anyone have any church hurt friends in their lives? Anyone have any maybe judgment that they felt in in uh in the traditional church world? I know I have. Some of my friends have heard the story about me almost getting kicked out of a Bible study
Oh, wow.
after writing my book, Conversations with an Angel. That's a whole nother story you'll have to learn another time. But now I am so excited. It's my absolute blessing to share this with our community. I also want to connect you with Lorna because Lorna is from New York. Lorna, I
Oh,
know you
wow.
could do. She's not living there now. She's in Texas now, but Lorna, I bet you
Hey,
know
all the
some
people that are
people.
doing the worship are from Texas. So we have real
Oh,
live worship
nice.
teams. And
So
they're
Lorna,
they're from
now
they're
make
from Texas.
sure
Yes,
you ladies connect. Lorna, you might be able
yes,
to share the good news with your community out there as well.
yes.
Now, thanks for joining us, honey. We're going to do our
Thank
best to
you,
support you. I so appreciate
thank
you
you.
coming to the
I
stage for a few
appreciate that.
minutes.
Thank you, thank
So,
you.
friends, this is what it gets to be about. We get to generate more in our own lives. We have a mission at Lisa Williams to Co to create a tribe of seven-figure givers, not seven-figure earners. That just comes without saying. That's already happened. How has it already happened? Well, because first of all, we have leveraged the systems of brilliant people who have built companies for us. And all we have to do is share the good news of what we're doing. We also have chosen an industry, my friends, that is the highest paid industry in the world. Financial services, by the way, if you didn't know it, it is the highest paid industry in the world. And whether you maybe you are coming into this industry or this workshop, hey, you know what? I have a financial advisor. I'm good. Oh, yeah, that was me. That was me, friends. I had two financial advisors. Do you know how much my financial advisors didn't tell me, by the way? Um, you might be coming in with the attitude that I've never been good with money. Why would anyone ever take advice from me? I will tell you, God works with our messes. This girl's had 70,000 in credit card debt at one point that I released from my life through the systems that have been built by others, through gaining. I'm going to share one of my very favorite quotes about wisdom. I heard it through a fabulous pastor named Ron Carpenter. Anyone know Ron Carpenter? He wrote this incredible book called Necessity of the Enemy. And he probably heard it from somebody else, but he said, the more wisdom we seek, the fewer miracles we need. Does that resonate with anyone? Imagine as we continue our life's journey, we just know that, you know what? I don't know what I don't know. But I know that if I keep seeking wisdom, I will find answers to what I do want to know, what God wants me to know, what's going to help me help others. And I will tell you, there's three primary ways that you can serve people in business. If you look at any business, they're working in one of three industries. One, if we were on a game of Family Feud right now, what do you think the top three answers would be? Anyone have any volunteers here? Anyone want to put them in the chat? I can tell you, but it's so much more fun when people volunteer. Does anyone, Jen, do you know? What do you think they are?
What's the question again?
If you were in a room of the game of Family Feud and you were asking, what are the top three things that keep people up at night?
Oh,
What do you think they would be?
money problems, relationship problems,
Yep.
and health
The third
problems.
one, you
Health
got it.
problems.
She got all three. Now, isn't it funny? Like if we ask a same room, you know, what do you need to do to be financially free? How many answers would we know? Would we get? We would get a lot of different answers. We'd get like a million different answers, right? And yet there's very simple answers to how to being financially free. I'm going to share a tip with you that this blew my mind, first of all. Oh, before we start, I want to make sure also, if you haven't gotten a call yet, I'm sorry, we had some people that opted in late. We want to make sure you know that you have your own personal success coach that's been assigned to you throughout this workshop. The purpose of this success coach is to partner with you, lock arms with you, help you be wildly successful in this workshop because we want to help you increase your own lifestyle of cash flow this week. We want to help you increase your financial IQ, and we want to make sure that you know you are not alone. So, that's what those that you might have gotten a text from one of our personal success coaches. They're going to be inviting you to schedule time with our team personally, take us up on that. You're also going to be getting free offers from all of our incredible speakers. Take advantage of those offers. Take them up on those free offers, my friends. That is my number one wealth building tip, is leverage the skills and abilities and knowledge and valuable time that all of these people are offering to you to help each other, to help you grow in your life, to help you grow in your financial IQ. So make sure you take advantage of that. I want to share with you my next tip for you as you continue to grow in your own cash flow. One of my mentors in business. I will share my screen. Anyone know who this fabulous lady is by chance? Does anyone know my friend Sharon Lecter? How many know us? Sharon Lecter is the co-author. Has anyone ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad? The book Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's any realtors on this call, that's like Realtor 101. You always have to read Rich Dad Poor Dad as a realtor, right? Right, Lorna? It's like one of the key criteria. So Robert Kiyosaki is the one that is typically known for writing that book. However, Sharon Lecter actually is the co-author. And Sharon talks about, she has a fabulous new book. It's called How Money Works for Women. I would highly recommend it. Donis, if you could find that link and put it in the chat for people. And she talks about in that book that by 2030, women are expected to control 30 trillion in financial assets. Oh, she has it. Good for you, Tanya. And I am telling you, I want to ask you, are you ready for that responsibility, my friends? Have you maybe outsourced your money to others? Is that something that you could use help in? That's why our success coaches are working with you. One of the things that I also wanted to share with you is, if you have a time in your life where a loss has crippled you, I had a couple that I share. You'll learn more about this story as we go through the week. I was unexpectedly a single mama when I had a 3-month-old and a 3-year-old. I also lost my mom and my best friend in the span of a very short period of time, back about 5 years ago. And again, this is where God met me the most. That grief that I had, I was able to leverage that grief. And I promise you that whatever you're going through in life, if you allow, your higher power will meet you there and will help you move from glory to glory, because I've seen it countless times in all the amazing people that I've had an opportunity to meet. This week, we're introducing something called the Kingdom Wealth Formula. The Kingdom Wealth Formula is not my formula. I give all credit where credit is due. Changed my life when I learned about this from my mentor, Pedro Adeo. And we're going to be learning about protection first and also how to earn and multiply in your own life. One of the first things that I learned about as I was growing in my entrepreneurial journey was the spirit of the cash flow quadrant. Raise of hands for those of you that are familiar with this concept. Is this something you've ever heard of before? Some of us. This is actually the concept that was introduced in the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And so you're going to get some homework tonight in your workbook, and it's going to ask you to evaluate, where are you in the cash flow quadrant right now? The cash flow quadrant is very simple. I was the employee quadrant for decades. I had a job. I worked in corporate America. I traded my time for money. I was a highly paid commission salesperson, but there was still a limit on how much I could earn, because guess what? I was limited by these two hands. How many hours these two hands had to give. This side of the quadrant, now a lot of people, they make this brave leap into entrepreneurship. I applaud every one of you. I imagine every one of you is an entrepreneur in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe you're looking at doing this, potentially making a change. Raise of hands for those of you that have I call it a bankroll, but you really also have a dream roll that it's kind of like your bankroll for your dream roll right now, right? You still work for someone else. I did that for 5 years, by the way, before I went full time into my business. Most people that go into self-employment, though, unfortunately get stuck there because they end up owning a job. This is why we're so passionate in our community about helping you leverage the skills, the abilities, your own challenges in your life, your own maybe lack of knowledge where you're at right now to continue your way around the cash flow quadrant. On the right side, by the way, is where 90% of the wealth is in our country. People that own a business that has a system that's duplicatable, that continues when you stop. It creates passive driven income. It's also sellable, it's transferable, and you're not limited to your two hands, right? You're not limited to your two hands. So I want you to be thinking about this. I am going to, it's my absolute blessing to bring my friend Jen to the stage because Jen and I met, Jen's a great example of someone, you know, when you meet someone and you think they're doing exactly what God intended for them to do. Um, that's what that's what Jen is doing now. Now, Jen, would you agree that you also had a role previously that you loved? You actually loved it for a really
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, I
So,
did.
Jen, share a little bit, give us your little 2 minute, overview of where you come from, and then we're going to have some fun doing a little interview too.
Okay. Thank you first and foremost for having me, Lisa. I don't know if you guys don't know Lisa personally, you should because she's amazing and she's one of the sweetest, most wonderful women. I just love being friends with her and in life with her. So, yeah, I came from an industry. I was self-employed almost most of my life. I was a hairdresser and I loved what I did. But as I got older, it got harder. And I just wasn't making the money I wanted. I had bigger dreams. I wanted bigger stuff. I love to travel. I love to help. I love missions. And there was more I wanted to do. And so I had been looking, but I was still looking kind of in my industry and they don't really pay that much. And there's sometimes a lot of travel. I did that for a while and I just didn't know what I was looking for. And I found the business I'm currently in. And to be honest, at first I went, oh, no, that's so not me because it has to do with money. And I knew nothing about money, right? Like I'd been poor most of my life. I was at this time in my life, I was a single mom. I'd raised two kids. And it provided me a living, but a bare living, it wasn't the life I wanted. And so, but the truth is, and I'll get really personal and it always chokes me up every time. So bear with me, but I didn't think I could do something else. I didn't believe that God wanted more for me. I didn't have the confidence that I could own a business or be an entrepreneur. I just didn't have the personal belief. And the hardest part, honestly, was recognizing I have adult children in their 30s and seeing that some of that lack of confidence, that lack of self-belief, I transferred to my children. And so that was very hard to see. And through the business that Lisa and I met through, we do a lot of personal development. And I started to believe that I could build something. I started to believe that God had more for me. And through that, I've seen my children change now too. Like I've seen it in my daughter. She's got more confidence. But how dare I tell my children, and Ed Milet always says this, if you guys know who he is, that tell your children they can do anything and they can go after their dreams and they can achieve anything when I wasn't. And so the business that we do has given me that opportunity. I've grown so much. I'm so thankful. I still have a long way to go, but I have faith and see it happening, and we're going to build it big and we're going to help a ton of people. And I just love what we do and how we help. So
And
Hopefully
Jen,
that's
you,
what.
and I've seen, Jen and I have known each other about 6 years now. And I also got to sit in her chair for a period of time when she was still doing hair. And you know how close you are with your hairdresser, ladies. Does that resonate with anybody? It's like a divorce when she retired, even though I was so excited for her because she's doing what she's meant to do full time now. And her hubby are just building an incredible business. And Jen, you and I have talked a lot about, there's so many industry trades, um, hair stylists, massage therapists, there's nurses, there's doctors, there's so many industries where you are the business,
Yep.
and yet they teach you very little about finances. Talk to us a little bit about what just that alone was even able to bring your business and your hairdresser business when you were doing that.
Oh, absolutely. So when I was introduced to the business we currently do was by a good friend. And because I'm married now, but prior to that, I was a single mom and had done nothing for retirement. Being self-employed, you don't have an option to 401k or anything like that. And I wasn't part of that 1% that they're reaching out going, here, let me help you save. So I didn't even know what to do. And so I was super excited first to implement some strategies. And if I'd done them 10 years earlier, well, that would have been awesome. But I'm grateful that now that we implemented some of those strategies, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, my kids, my grandkids, and my great grandkids, because of the things I've done now, are going to be way better positioned than I was. And that alone is huge, So I'm thankful for
Yeah.
that.
Well, and what I love about Jen is she continues to grow. She talked about self-development. And friends, I want you to embrace the idea of Jen and I are both in the financial industry, and that's where we met. That's where we've grown up together, wouldn't you say, Jen, in our
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey? But really, I feel like the main business is becoming the better version of us. Stepping into who has God created us to be, open those gifts that God has blessed us with. And I compare the rule of 72. Does everyone know the rule of 72? I think most of you do. It's compound interest, discovered by Einstein, someone way smarter than all of us. And you take the number 72, you divide it by the percentage that you're getting in that investment, and that's how long it takes to double your money. Now, that's a financial concept, but Jen, wouldn't you agree that the rule of 72 applies even more when it comes to development of ourselves?
Absolutely.
How much has finding mentors, how much has finding a community of like-minded people and a commitment to continue to develop yourself changed your life?
Yeah, that has been the biggest change and the biggest gift. And you talked about something earlier that I wanted to touch on. You talked about those that have been maybe hurt by church. Well, not specifically hurt by church, but I think there are some things in church that tell us be content where you're at, be satisfied, and not, for me, it taught me to not dream bigger. For me, it taught me that maybe God doesn't want more for me and you should be satisfied. And then I look at these other verses that tells me he wants to bless me and he built, put greatness and I'm in God's creation. I'm wonderful gift. And I'm like, wait a minute, these are conflicting to me. And through the things we've done, just recognizing that all of us, God created us for greatness, He put greatness in us and he wants us to bloom and blossom, like you said, our best version of who God created this unique person that he loves and adores to be the best me. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jen, you sit down with families every single day, kneecap to kneecap, going through their finances. One of the reasons I love what Jeff Levitan has done with Better is, just so you know, Jeff, who you'll learn about throughout this week, he comes from the same company that Jen and I both were with, and he built an empire. He had more agents in his agency than MetLife, right? And he retired. He passed the business to his family, and he started the Better Life movement. And the main reason he did that, and Jen, you can qualify this. How many times do you sit down with a family and you go through their finances and you realize that the number one problem they have is they just don't earn enough money?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they simply don't have a tool that will help them do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Don't have enough money. Also live beyond their means sometimes, but mostly don't have enough money.
Oh, wait, live beyond their means. Has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever bought way too many Starbucks when they need and they weren't saving? Am I the only one that did that for a period of my life? We live in just such a time, just in time world, right? So Jen, anything that you wanted to, I know we had a short time together. Was there anything that you wanted to share? Is there something you wanted to offer the community as being part of this, process?
Yeah, I
Your
mean,
time with you.
yeah, I would love to sit down with anyone that wants to and kind of review their finances, a free financial needs analysis. Some companies charge anywhere between 500 to 1500 for this, and I am giving it to whoever wants it. And as my gift. And yeah, I would just love to help people to see that, ways that they can do more, ways that they can reach their goals and dreams. And I'm big, like, I do have a huge heart for women, of course, because I'm a woman, but also knowing that sometimes we don't know the true gift that we are, the true value that we have. And I love this because I love knowing that together we can do so much more. And yeah, so that's
I
it.
love it. I love it. And my team, don't you think Jen needs to be one of our success coaches? Don't you think she would be a fabulous contributor to our community here? Jen, we need to talk about that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, my friend. I love you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming. I now get to bring my dear heart, my Lorna soul sister, to the stage. Lorna's going to help us wrap up the day because this has been, today was just a taste and see. We're gonna get to grow together this week. We're going to continue to grow our financial IQ. You're going to make sure, all of you, your homework tonight is to complete your workbook, evaluate. Where are you in the cash flow quadrant? Would your life, would your business benefit from adding a tool to your toolbox? That's really what the Better Life platform is about. We're going to continue learning more about the Protection First Kingdom Wealth Formula this week. But Lorna is my dear friend that I met through a community that many of us are part of, the Shanda Sumter community. And Lorna she started as someone I just knew, like, every time I would see her face on the screen, I'd be like, who's that big smiley girl? I just want to know her. And, the first time we met, we actually didn't do much the first time, right, Lorna? Like, it was kind of more of a meet and greet. And then we
Yeah.
reconnected
Mm-hmm.
like maybe a year and a half
Year and a
later.
half
And
ago.
since
Mm-hmm.
then, we have been collaborating massively and we've been having so much fun. Many of you on this Zoom, I would not know if it weren't for Lorna. And
Mm-hmm.
so Lorna's going to share a little bit with us about a word that maybe some of us have struggled with in our lives: procrastination.
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Lisa, for having me here today. I'm always excited to come into this community. Welcome to the newbies and y'all old school people. We're going to talk about procrastination today. But I want to tie this all up by something Lisa just said. We've known each other, I think it's more than a year and a half, Lisa. And it's perfect, right? Because we have been in this relationship because of one word: leverage. That
Yep.
the thing that Lisa is going to talk about, the theme of this week, leverage, is one of the things that brought us together. There's a friendship and we leverage each other's business. So I want to tell you guys, it works if you lean into it. And maybe the reason you're not leaning into it is procrastination. Who are my procrastinators? Raise your hands and don't be shy, because here it is. When you call it out into the room, you get rid of its power over you. Imagine getting rid of the power of procrastination over your life. Just imagine. And here's the thing. Do you want to know why you procrastinate? Well, let me ask you. Put in the chat why you procrastinate. I want to see your answers. Why do you procrastinate? Real quick. Laser, laser, laser. I got 3 minutes.
Let's see. I have one that I
Fear.
want to ask, that I want to share with you. And we have
Mhm.
fear, we have
Come on, guys, put it in.
put it in the
Listen,
chat.
call the devil out. Call him out. Let's go.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, fear.
Can I mention one that
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you to talk about? So
Mm-hmm.
I came with a big employee mindset to my business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I trusted a lot. There's lack of knowledge, want to be done
Mm-hmm.
correctly. Yes, too busy. Lori, I hear you. One of the big things that I saw was when I learned about the Better platform, for example, I was
Mm-hmm.
part of an organization of entrepreneurs, and I was told, don't do it. In a world of entrepreneurship. And so the employee mindset of mine made it, I kind of was like, oh, then I shouldn't do it, right? So sometimes it's because people we respect and love, we want to honor what they've told us. So I'm gonna quiet up now and let you do your thing,
Yeah,
but I want you to
that's
speak about that.
yeah, that's a good one too, right? But here's the thing about that one. That one is because we have been programmed with other people's values. So we value their thought process, their what they think more than we value ourselves. That's a trust issue. Do you get that? We could do a whole another workshop on that if you want me to bring it in. I have a 2-hour workshop on trust. We can move all of that out of the way, right? But that one, Lisa, is all about trust. It's about values, right? What do you value? And it's a real thing. One of the questions you got to really ask yourself is, what do you value? Do you value your own opinion? Do you value somebody else's opinion? That's another power struggle that a lot of us have in our lives, right? But I want to bring you to something that it's super powerful, that if you're aware of it, you can manage it. One of the things that really stops us in procrastination is this neurotransmitter in our brains called dopamine, right? Dopamine is this thing that is the distance between where you are right now and where you want to go. In the middle is dopamine, but it's the procrastination, it's the stall, right? So how do you get out of that stall? You got to be willing to leverage discomfort. You got to be discomfort and do it anyway. You got to take that fear that you talked about just now and do it anyway. The fear is not going to go away, but here's what you can do. You can reframe fear. What are you going to tell yourself? What can you tell yourself? All you got to do is just say, the fear is only feedback. And then when you ask yourself some powerful questions, what is it trying to tell me? How is it making me feel? Why am I feeling like this? Where did I feel it before? You see, you get what I'm saying? When you start asking different questions, that fear is there, but you're moving through it because you're answering the questions. As you answer the questions, you gain momentum. And you be like, I can do this. And you start talking to yourself differently. And when you do that, anything is possible because now you're in your power, right?
I
Now you
love
can
that.
stand in your vision. Yes? Who's feeling me over here? Who is feeling me?
I
Who
feel
is
you.
willing
Here,
to take this on this year so that we end this year powerfully as women of faith? Because guess what? I'm gonna give you some juice right now. Where's Dana? Where's Dana? Dana isn't here. I gave her some juice on our one-on-one call last week. Who lives in us? Let me ask you all a question. Who lives in us? Christ in me, the hope of glory. So there is no limit. Guys, that fear is just feedback. Feedback to tell you if you're on the path or you're off the path. Feedback to tell you if you're in your vision or you're out of your vision. Feedback to tell you if you're really committed to what you say. That's all it is, right? So now the game is play with that fear, ask the questions, and move forward. Okay.
I love
Any
this, Lorna.
questions?
So I wanted you to comment. There's some great things in the chat. Today I heard that from Liz, the thing you are procrastinating is the thing holding you back from success. 100%. I love this
Absolutely.
from Carol because I think this, tell me how many of this resonates. I have a fear of missing out, fear of picking the wrong thing. And oftentimes that makes people not pick anything, right? Have you realized that before?
Yeah, yeah. So that is a lack of with love, a lack of vision. Because when you are clear on your vision and your mission, Lisa has a huge mission. I talk about it every time I come on this call. Lisa has a huge mission to help 100 million. I'm bringing it bigger, Lisa. 100 million people to
I
become
receive.
kingdom givers, right? So that's a big vision. And sometimes the mission, I'm sorry, sometimes the mission can be too big and that can stop us. And that's a piece of procrastination. So I'm going to give you 3 things to overcome real quick, right? Get your pen, write fast. Number 1, priority. P1, P2, P3. P1, P2, P3. In every morning you get up, what's my P1? What's my P2? What's my P3? If what you're doing doesn't fall in one of those, you're not doing it right. Okay, that creates urgency for you, right? And here's the part number 2: do the hard P's first. Do the hard things first. If you do it first, you get it out of the way. Then you have the rest of your day, right? And number 3 is, I said it before, leverage. Leverage time, leverage people. Leverage time, leverage people. So,
I
guys,
love it.
the P's are like gold because it keeps you on the path of what you said you wanted for that day. Make sense? So, if
Amen.
you're procrastinating about making the call, make the call. Worst case scenario, dial the number, right? Just do it. And if you get to have support, leverage people.
Yes.
Leverage
Yes.
Lisa, leverage Jen, leverage myself, leverage your success coaches. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. What was the second one, Lorna? We have
What did what
priority
did I
one,
tell
two,
you the
and
second
three.
was? Do hard things first.
Do the hard things, and then
Leverage.
leverage. And Lorna,
Yep.
you have generously offered time on your calendar for those that are
Yes.
interested. Can you be sure and put that in the chat for us as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, friends, working with this woman has uplifted me in every way, shape, and form in my life as a friend, as a woman of faith, as a woman in business, my inspiration, my soul sister. Thank you, my dear. I so appreciate you.
You are
Jazz hands
welcome.
for Lorna.
Great to be
Friends,
here.
we are at the top of the hour. We're a little bit over, but corporate girl in me likes to end on time. We do have a giveaway though. For our we always give a $20 gift card away for those of you that are present. Who is our winner today? Is it Donis or June doing it? I can't see you guys. Is it Sharon or Stella? Stella beat just over the line. Stella, congratulations, my dear. You will be getting a $20 gift card. And friends, as we are parting today, I want to just give you one of my favorite affirmations that I shared it with myself all the time, and I want to invite you to consider this. I am blessed with happiness, with peace of mind, with good, vibrant health, wealth, and prosperity, and success in all areas of my life, now and forever. Amen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Day 2 is going to have a powerhouse speaker, Miss Rachel Jane Groover, an incredible woman of faith. She has this whole movement called the Awakened Soul. So you definitely want to come and join us, and we will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.